Many times I bring to these conversations stories that I've had in the past, but today I have a story that we both experienced this last weekend. Denise and I held an open house here in town on Saturday, and we had an experience that really caught both of us and brought something, I think, to both of our attention, and that has to do with buyers. We had a great turnout at this open house, but amazingly, in this market, in this inventory tight market, many of the people that came in the door to view the townhouse were not working with a real estate agent. And I think at one point the property went under contract the night before, so we decided to hold the open house, continue with that as scheduled. So we informed people as they were coming in the door shortly thereafter that the property had gone under contract. And many of the people just exhibited, obvious frustration. You could see it. But one gentleman in particular, as he was coming into the townhouse, really did exhibit enough frustration, not with us, but just in the overall process that obviously they've been going through, to get Denise and I to talk about why do buyers in this particular market, or in any market, honestly, not work with a real estate agent. It just seems to us, and we both said this almost simultaneously, you don't really stand a chance if you're not working with an agent these days.
That's very brutal, but very true. Very true. We did have that same reaction when we saw, especially the look on his face. It was so sad. It was sad, and we felt for him. And so we talked about it, and we said, you know what? We need to share this information because maybe not everybody knows. But you really need to start the process, even if you're just thinking about buying a house.
From the beginning.
From the beginning, start with a real estate professional. And the reason is you need someone who's going to sit down with you and say, okay, Ray, what are your needs? What are your wants? And how much is it that you actually want to spend on a home? We work with people all the time doing this, and it's really important to get that foundation, that relationship early on in the process to make everything else go so much smoother. And that includes making sure that you see a lender about what it is you want to pay on a monthly basis for a home, all of those things. So yes, it's really important to start early with a real estate agent.
Yeah, and in this situation, we also recognize that a lot of people, as we had to have, had that conversation with them after the property, was under contract. What else is available in the marketplace? And obviously, it's very limited at this point. But one of the things that we had discussions with, this particular gentleman and some others, were the process of finding a property. So there's obvious, the multiple listing service is still probably the best, I think, source that we all go to. Certainly properties that are active on the market, properties that are coming soon, and we can have up to just about 3 weeks prior to the property actually going on the market to get a view, at least in the multiple listing service, of these properties that are eventually going to come on the marketplace. But we started to have discussions with some of these buyers about properties that aren't currently on the marketplace and maybe not even in the open house status at this stage. And those are properties that we hear about in our office. We do sales meetings a couple times a month. We talk to the agents, obviously individually within our office. And because that we're with a large network of other offices, a lot of other agents, we can have conversations with those people as well. And not to mention just the number of agents that we interact with in our entire marketplace. I mean, we work in the Northern Virginia marketplace, as we've talked about before, Loudoun County, Prince William County, out further west into Clark and Frederick counties. So we have great access to a lot of conversations, and we have a lot of conversations during the week. So I think that that's probably, again,
Yes.
one of the suggestions that we would make is that the agent has just a vast knowledge of what is coming on the market and what is currently on the market.
That is true. And a lot of things, and we'll probably talk about it more, is a lot of contracts are a lot of homes are being sold and not even hitting the MLS because of that relationship that we have with other agents. You have the opportunity for these things to happen a lot more. So real estate professionals really do have a wealth of information. Another thing that agents will do for home buyers is assist them that once they find that property that they really love, they've toured the property, they've looked at the neighborhood, the agent provides a lot of research on that. Then
there's a lot of work that goes on the back end of that, isn't there?
There is a lot. So in addition to checking out the neighborhoods, giving you time to look at your school systems, figure out what it is that will work with you, then the real estate agent will actually then do a comparative market analysis.
The CMA.
Correct.
That we've talked about.
Correct.
Yeah.
So let's say the owner wants $500,000.
It's not just for the sellers, it's for the buyers as well, right?
That's right. Very important. So CMAs assist buyers so that you're paying a fair price for that home. What has been selling recently? Homes that look like this, how much are they actually selling for? So you don't want to present an offer that's not fair.
Yeah.
So that's another thing an agent will help you with. Not only that, but we have relationship with the agent who's selling and representing the owner of the house. So we're able to find out a little bit about the owner. Do they need a rent back? Do they want to sell as quickly as possible? What type of buyer are they looking for? We share this information with our clients and assist them in presenting a really strong offer.
It's all really a big part of that presentation, right? Not only to the seller, but to the agent that the seller is working with to make sure that we look like the best offer that they could accept, they could receive.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think as they find the right property, the next step I think that's so important for a buyer to consider is the process of not just the negotiations as you get to that that contract. So you prepare the offer, as you say, you get to that contract. The important step then that follows, and this can be filled with a number of different pitfalls, if you will, is the contract to the closing portion of the transaction.
That's right.
So needless to say, in today's market, inspections are again tightening up again, but we're still seeing home inspections, certainly well and septic inspections. The pest inspections and so forth, for the most part, are still a part of most of the contracts that we're seeing. And the agent can then, beyond the negotiation to get to the contract, they can help negotiate throughout the process of the home inspections and the other inspections that are necessary to get this. It's a constant process. But as important to that, it's the process of staying in touch with the lender and making sure that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted as the buyer goes through this. And so it can be a frustrating process.
Yes.
And sometimes
Yes.
It's just good to have the agent to kind of bounce these. Have you seen this before? Is this a reasonable request, et cetera? And along those same lines is the communication with the title company, setting up the date of settlement, setting up the time of settlement. There is that walkthrough, of course, prior to settlement. And then how about if you throw in the notorious rent back, right?
Oh, yes.
So we have that situation that we sometimes will have to negotiate through. And then as the seller moves out, we'll have to do a walkthrough. So very important to have the agent, of course, involved in those discussions and making sure you get their expertise.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot, and it really is a lot. And it's probably a lot more than you're even saying right now.
Yeah.
I'm well aware of that. And even after closing, like you said, if there's a rent back, then your agent stays with you until you actually move into that house. And then you think it's all done. Well, no, if you have yourself a really good agent, then you're with that person for life. as long as you're a homeowner, we stay in touch. We tell you periodically how the value of your house, so you bought it for $500,000, 6 months later, how much is it actually worth now based on the market, next year, year after that. There's just so much opportunities for homeowners to consider things like refinancing to get cash back on the equity they have in their home. Maintenance issues come up. Hey, my fireplace doesn't work. Call your realtor. Do you know anyone that can help? So it's a real lifelong process. And that's the hope, that we're here throughout this entire process and a long time after that.
Yeah, it's a relationship that we value. And I think that, again, our good work, our representation of the buyer goes a lot further than just the transaction. Of course, we're always interested in referrals.
Mm-hmm.
We're always interested in repeat business with that buyer. So, it's a realtor for life, right? Well, thank you again I hope that this has been certainly informational for you. Don't be the guy on the stairs that had the sad look.
Yes.
I tell you, both of our hearts went out to this couple because you could just see how exasperated they were by the process that they were going through and the frustration that they had already exhibited. So again, thank you for staying in touch with us, for your support. As always, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll hope to talk with you again soon.
Yes, and remember, if you are even thinking of buying a home, please reach out to us. We are here to work for you.
Take care.